It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. And with the Penguins and the Capitals in town, it's a special 1 hour episode of Sports for Beginners, Penguins postgame, and it starts right now. Oh, get in the fast lane, Grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll. You're locked in to Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins play here on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Hey, shoot, he scores! The bingo game is ready to roll. Welcome to Penguins postgame. I'm PPG for PGH, and you'd have to be here to believe it. Here is your host, Scott McGregor. Get that dog off my lawn. Oh, slap me, silly Sydney. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to another episode of Sports for Beginners, the podcast. Welcome in to another Penguins post-game show edition of Penguins post-game. My name is Scott McGregor. Good evening. It's great to be back here, but it's a bit of a somber note because today we honored the legacy and celebrated the legacy of the late, great Mike Lang, the man responsible for catchphrases like, "It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh," or "Get that dog off my lawn," or "How's that for a powerhouse squad?" So get in the fast lane, Grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll. And other great catchphrases, but of course, slap me, silly Sydney, and other catchphrases like what I just mentioned earlier on. It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh are among some of the greatest catchphrases of Mike Lang. A lot that we don't know yet that has not been revealed as to what the cause of Mike Lang's death was. But we do know that Mr. Lang passed away at the age of 76. We also know that tonight, this afternoon rather, at PPG Paints Arena, the Penguins, before falling 8-3 to the Washington Capitals, we also know that the Penguins honored Mr. Lang and his family in his broadcasting legacy. A link will be provided in the description of this episode so that you can check that out if you haven't already, or if you were at the game but want to see it from the TV side. We will have that for you as well. We got a game to get to, shall we? Let's get to it. Here we go. Of course, my name is Scott McGregor. Proud Penguins fan, whether the Penguins lose or win. Preferably hoping they win. Preferably, I hope that they win. Head coaches for this game tonight in the afternoon, as the game took place in the afternoon at PPG Paints Arena. Mike Sullivan for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Spencer Carberry, who is behind the bench for the Washington Capitals. Goaltending matchup Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren going up against Alex Nedeljkovic and Joel Blomqvist. Joel Blomqvist and Alex Nedeljkovic for the Penguins. Nedeljkovic getting the start for the Penguins. Thompson gets the start for the Capitals. And Charlie Lindgren in at backup for Capitals. Head coaches once again, Mike Sullivan for Pittsburgh, Spencer Carberry for the Washington Capitals at PPG Paints Arena. All right. With those notes out of the way, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break on Penguins postgame, but I want to remind you guys that coming up in a two-part period-by-period summary as part of our game summary coming up after the break, we will get into first period penalties, second period and first period scoring in the first half. In the second half, we'll get to the third period penalties and scoring as well. Throughout the segments of the summary, we will break down how the goals went in, or in this case, how the shots tallied up. And of course, we'll break into our 3 stars of the game, our play of the game coming up as well, and so much more. So, hope you have yourself hooked up for a wonderful program. Penguins postgame will be right back to break this game down, goal by goal, penalty by penalty, when we return to Penguins postgame. We want to also save some time to take a look at the busy action around the NHL. So be sure to stick with us for that as well. All right, with that said, we'll be back in just a moment. Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches.
CNT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down. Nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on CNT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on CNT Radio.
Welcome back, everyone, to Penguins postgame. Thank you so much to Nick Blazewitz for such a great ad for the Melting Pot. Sorry, Nick, I wasn't able to make it into the show today to check it out. Whether it was you or it was Samantha running the show, regardless, I hope that the show was as great as it always is. I also hope that for Ali and Sienna, I hope that you guys walk out of the Spicy Techie era as a podcast, because we found out, even before I came on the air today, we found out before today's game for the Penguins, we found out that Spicy Techie was being discontinued. effective immediately. So for Ali and Sienna, I wish you guys the best of luck trying to figure out an alternative and trying to keep things going with the radio station, Sienna T Radio, as well as Tech Extravaganza. I will pop into that whenever I get an opportunity to do so. Perhaps a show like this or Sports for Beginners will land on Sienna T Radio. You never know. With all that being said, we got a game to break down, shall we? I think we got to get into it now. This is a 1 hour special, so we'll leave some time over the 1 hour special to talk about Mike Lang, catchphrases that I enjoyed, and I know some of you who have been around during his era on the radio have enjoyed. Like, I don't know, hit me with a hacksaw. If I have that right, I might not have that right. Or slap me, silly Sydney. Or Elvis has just left the building. All that great jazz, all that jazz. All right. Let's get to it, shall we? I think we shall. Let's get to it. Here we go. Here we go. And we're going to go ahead and share the screen. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen to break it all down for you. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and bring myself on here. Okay, we can't really see myself, but you know what? That's okay. We'll start with our scoring. In the first period, Ethan Frank getting things going for, there we go. There we go. Ethan Frank getting things going for the Capitals. He gets things going for the Caps. So, yeah, for the Capitals. He gets things going for the Capitals. As the Capitals take a 1-0 lead. They take a 1-0 lead with Andrew Mangiapane picking up an assist. And we also have Rasmus Sandin picking up an assist as well. On the assist, that will be the 9th for Andrew Mangiapane and 16th for Rasmus Sandin. 5 minutes and 13 seconds in, the Capitals are on top 1-0. Nothing new here. Nothing new here, it looks like. Well, let's see how that continues. In the first period as well, we also see power play. Shortly after, Vincent Desharnais and Pierre-Luc Dubois go 2 minutes for roughing at 6 minutes and 50 seconds. At the 14-minute and 36-second mark, Lars Eller, he'll go to the box for a hooking minor against Cody Glass. Penguins go to the game's first power play. They don't score on that one, however. So the Capitals kill that power play off as a penalty kill. They kill that one off. But they won't kill off the penalty that went to Jacob Chychrun for holding, as Christopher Letang is able to blank Logan Thompson for his 8th goal of the season. Evgeny Malkin picking up an assist as well. That's Malkin's 26th assist of the season. He's back in action after being out the past couple of games. 8 games, if I'm not mistaken, he missed. Philip Tomasino picking up an assist as well, number 7 on the season. Game is tied at a goal apiece. After 20 minutes of play, at the 17-minute and 4-second mark, Jacob Chychrun went for 2 minutes for holding against Evgeny Malkin. And Tomasino, Malkin, and Letang made him pay 18 minutes and 21 seconds after that. Basically a minute and 21 seconds after that. Second period we go. First, before we get there, shots on goal after the first period of play. 9-5 in favor of the Penguins. Penguins out shooting the Capitals 9-5 after the first 20 minutes of play. Second period we go, and this is where we will take a break. But second period we go before we get to the break. Martin Farabee gets things started, his second goal of the season. Brendan Duhaime with his 8th assist of the season. Taylor Radish picking up assist number 17th of the season. Brendan Duhaime, 8th assist of the season. 1 minute and 10 seconds in, Washington has grabbed back the lead. It's 2-1. Capitals leading the Penguins 2-1. Not so fast. Slap me silly, Sydney. Crosby picks up his 18th goal of the season, number 610 of his NHL career, if I'm not mistaken. And we also see Rickard Rakell picking up assist number 24 on the year. Erik Karlsson, number 33 on the year for him as an assist. Penguins have tied the game again. Penguins have tied the game again. Moving on. 6 minutes and 36 seconds in. Penguins have tied this game at 2 with the Crosby goal. Crosby's 18th of the season. Number 610 of his NHL career. And then bang, 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 bang. Jacob Chychrun. First goal of the game, number 15th on the season, Pierre-Luc Dubois. Assist number 32 of the season, Connor McMichael. Assist number 23 on the season. It's 3-2 Washington, 10 minutes and 38 seconds in. Just a little later, Jacob Chychrun, again, he blanks the goaltender for the Penguins there. And I should mention that Joel Blomqvist had to come in relief of Alex Nedeljkovic. We'll get to that in a moment. Whether we have the shared screen on or not, we probably won't have it on. But if we do, we'll get to all of that in just a moment. But anyways, once again, Chychrun scores his 16th goal of the season, second goal of the day. Pierre-Luc Dubois, second assist of the day, number 33 on the season. Trevor Van Riemsdyk picking up his 16th assist of the season. And the onslaught would continue. 3 goals later, as there were 5 goals tallied in the second period of play. 3 goals later, Alexei Protal's, his 23rd goal of the season, Rasmus Sandin, second assist of the day. I want to make sure I have that right. Yep, that's right. Second assist of the day. And that is also his 17th assist of the season, John Carlson, picking up assist number 32 on the season, his only assist of the game. 14 minutes and 25 seconds in, the Capitals have now grown what was a 2-goal lead to a 3-goal lead. They would go into the break of the second period leading 6-2 and leading by 4 goals. At this point in time, Alex Nedeljkovic, unless it was in the third period or in that or after this goal by Alexei Protas, it was at one point in this game where Alex Nedeljkovic got pulled. But moving on from that, 8 minutes and 5 seconds in, Tom Wilson scores his 25th goal of the season. Martin Farabee picking up a goal and also now an assist. He picked up a goal early in the second period. Now he's going to pick up a assist. And with that said, that is number 13 on the season for him. And Matt Roy picking up his 14th assist of the season. At the end of 40 minutes, with no penalties taken in the second period, no penalties taken in the second period of play. Shots on goal. We don't have our notes here on our shared screen, but you know what? That's okay. I have them here on my phone, and that's okay too. Penguins out shooting the Capitals for the game, 20-18. They were being outshot 13-11, but they are still outshooting the Capitals 20-18. Third period will roll around when we come back on Penguins postgame. So be sure to stick with us, because when we come back, it's third period time on Penguins postgame, which means how did the third period shots on goal, total shots come to be? Plus, what else happened in our game stats? What were the total shots on goal after the game? All this and the 3 stars of the game coming up on Penguins postgame. Be sure to stick with us. Our 1-hour special with Mike Lang, Honorment, continues in a moment.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Looking for a sports podcast that covers sports weekly as well as gets you set up for the day? Check out Weekly in Sports with me, Scott McGregor. We give some shout-outs of the week to podcasts like this one and those who do them. Discuss the Blue Jays, Bills, Raptors, and more. To learn more, check out the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners. Welcome back to Penguins Postgame 1 hour special with Mike Lang. Oh, get in the fast lane, Grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll. It is time to get down to the third period. How did things go in this third period? We're about to find out. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen one more time. We won't share the screen, though, for the 3 stars of the game, because I'll reveal those via my phone, which also happens to have the NHL app open. Download the app for yourself to follow your favorite team all year long as the season goes down. And I'm also going to utilize that for the penalties as well. Speaking of penalties, the Penguins don't get away with the first time. No, they actually do. They actually get away with the first 2 times. They go on the penalty kill. The first was Vincent Desharnais. He goes to the box for holding at 2 minutes and 26 seconds in. Chris Letang is assessed a double minor for high sticking at 2 minutes and 59 seconds in. Evgeny Malkin is assessed a 2-minute minor for holding at 12 minutes and 16 seconds in. And it is on that penalty that Dylan Strome makes it 7-2 Washington and adds on to an already 4-point lead for the Washington Capitals. The second power play goal of the game, only power play goal of the game for Washington. Chris Letang had the only power play goal of the game for Pittsburgh. And we'll get to all of that in just a moment. Danton Heinen scores his first goal since rejoining the Penguins for his 7th goal of the season. Philip Tomasino on the assist. His second assist of the evening, of the day I should say. And Kevin Hayes, who doesn't exactly have an assist yet, he picks up his 6th assist of the season. Second assist of the day for Philip Tomasino. 8th of the season for Tomasino. And it's now 7-3 Washington over Pittsburgh. Moving along, Brandon Duhaime I think he just about pretty much clears the door wide out, keeps that door wide open for the Washington Capitals, but he definitely shut the door completely on Pittsburgh. 17 minutes and 19 seconds. He gets his 7th goal of the season. Matt Roy, 15th assist of the season, 2nd assist of the night, of the day. Excuse me. Of course, the goal by Danton Heinen is at 14 minutes and 22 seconds. And at 13 minutes and 11 seconds, it's Dylan Strome with the power play goal. I really want to get to the power play goals, or I really want to get to the play of the game right now. But we're going to go ahead and get into right now our game stats for the game, including what the final tally of shots on goal were for the third period. They took a shot away, but when I first had them written down, it was 33-31 in favor of the Penguins. The Penguins still have the favored shots, but only by just one shot on goal. They were outshot by the Capitals 13-12, but outshot the Capitals for the game 32-31. Not really an outshoot. They weren't really outshot. If I'm being honest, they weren't really being outshot. If I'm being honest with you. Anyways, the remainder of our stats: 57 faceoffs thrown in this game. Pittsburgh winning about 58% of them. 24 faceoff wins for the Capitals. They win about 42.1% out of the 57 faceoffs. They won 24 out of 57. Pittsburgh winning 33 out of 57 for just about 58% of the faceoff percentage winning. Penguins went 1 for 2 on the power play. The Capitals 1 for 2 on the penalty kill. The power play for the Washington Capitals 1 for 4. They were 1 for 4. Penalty kill for the Penguins 3 for 4, as they kill off 3 of the 4 penalties they took, including that double minor on Christopher Letang. The Penguins spend 10 minutes in the penalty box. Capitals spending 6 minutes in that penalty box today. Capitals out-hit the Penguins 21-15. They also out-blocked the Penguins 23-17. Giveaways were 13-9 in favor of the Penguins. I mean, the Penguins did not have 13 giveaways. They had 9 giveaways. The Capitals had 13 giveaways. 2 takeaways for Pittsburgh in this one, 4 takeaways for the Capitals. A very rough night for Alex Nedeljkovic. Very rough night for Alex Nedeljkovic. But you know what? We gotta begin somewhere. And I really like what I saw from Joel Blomqvist, but it's inexcusable when you took penalties when you did. Time now for your 3 stars of the game, and you know the drill. I've talked about it a lot. They are brought to you by on the Penguins Radio Network, what we are not sponsored by, but could be coming down the road. The Penguins Pittsburgh #1 Ford stores, your neighborhood, your Pittsburgh, your neighborhood Ford stores in Pittsburgh. Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, we are not sponsored by it, but our 3 stars that on the Penguins Radio Network are brought to you by your neighborhood Ford stores. Again, Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, this one was a bit of a... I don't want to say a curse word here, so we're going to go with an inexcusable loss. But you know what? It's kind of bittersweet, considering that you're celebrating the legacy of Mike Lang, the man for "Get that dog off my lawn," or "Slap me silly Sydney," or "He beat him like a rented mule," or any of those other ones. You know what? I actually have a question for I have a question for Pittsburgh Penguins fans. Now, unfortunately, I can't do it on on our hosting platform now. I can't do the Q&A right now anymore, but I can do polls. So I want to ask Penguin fans. I know a lot of Mike Lang's catchphrases are good, but if you could narrow it down between two catchphrases, which of these two would you say is your most favorite and memorable Mike Lang moment on the radio, if you've heard Mike Lang on the radio or on the TV side? "Slap me silly Sydney," or "It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh." Again, it's a hockey night in Pittsburgh, or "Slap me silly Sydney." Which one of those would be your absolute favorite? That will be our poll for this game. And you could have this go down until the end of the season. It doesn't really matter to me. I could have this go down to the end of the season or so. But I just want to know. Moving on with our 3 stars. Here we go. First off, our 3rd star is the aforementioned Martin Farabee. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Pierre-Luc Dubois in at the 2nd star, 3 assists, no goals, 3 points. And our 1st star, 2 goals, no assists, 2 points for Jacob Chychrun. Jacob Chychrun, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Martin Farabee, your 3 stars of the game. Honestly, I'm gonna, I don't really have any second opinion on that, because the Capitals score 8 goals in this game. They pull away, and not to quote Paul Steigerwald in the half of the Penguins live post-game show that I tuned into, but yeah, this game kind of reminded me of that game back in the beginning of the season. This game kind of reminded me of back early on in the season when the Penguins faced the New York Rangers, and they just were trucked by the New York Rangers 6-0. Oy. I can't even tell you how many times I want to go back to just rewatch that game and then be like, this could have been us today against the Capitals. We're very lucky it wasn't, but it certainly looked that way. All right, play of the game coming up next alongside our shake of the game, and we want to get into the action around the NHL, a couple of early finals. We'll get to those quickly here before we get to the break. The Philadelphia Flyers defeated the Edmonton Oilers 6-3. We also know of finals for the Detroit Red Wings and the Minnesota Wild. Those were the games before our game. And the Minnesota Wild came all the way back to beat the Detroit Red Wings in overtime 4-3. The Seattle Kraken knock off the Florida Panthers 2-1. The Buffalo Sabres knock off the New York Rangers 8-2. And of course, I'll get to the Devils after the break, but of course, before we get to the break here, I'll get to the Devils and I'll get to everyone else in a moment or two. But the Devils are knocked off by the Dallas Stars 4-2. And since I did that, we're going to get to what happened down in Nashville after the break. And of course, what is still going on right now in action, as we are also preparing right now for the late game, Vancouver versus Vegas. That's coming up at 10 o'clock. We'll get you into all of that coming up around the extra moment of the show. Again, this is a 1 hour special, and it continues as we go to the play of the game. The play of the game brought to you by on the Penguins Radio Network, Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll get to that. Of course, we are not sponsored by Rivers Casino, but we'll get to that. A look around the NHL, and we'll get to the shake of the game before we get to the next commercial break. And again, our poll that will be around for a little while, for a little longer. And from our description, what is your favorite Mike Lang saying between these two sayings? It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. Or, slap me silly Sydney. Let me know. You can also join the conversation to do that by going into Penguins post-game show interactions on our Discord server. Check that out for yourself. And we will always be glad to join you and keep you on the edge of your seat as games go on. The best time to get in your predictions or what have you, especially if we go on a live stream, is to allow us, I would say probably about the second or third period would be the best time to head on into the Discord server and check it out. We'll be back in a moment. Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches. Welcome back to Penguins post-game. Penguins and the Capitals. Capitals knock off the Penguins 8-3. Next up for the Penguins. Next up for the Capitals coming up in a matter of moments. But we want to get into some of the action coming around the league, and I want to get into our play of the game, which is on the Penguins Radio Network. If you tune into the Penguins Radio Network, it's always brought to you by Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. And for those gambling in Ontario, if you have questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. Of course, We're not sponsored by Rivers Casino. But again, for all those who love to gamble, please play responsibly. The play of the game we're going to get to in a second. And we want to remind you that the shake of the game is coming up as well. In case you missed it, especially for those who are joining us, and I know Ali and Sienna join us at an eventual time whenever they join us. So hi Ali, hi Sienna, I'm waving to you even though this is not a live stream here. I'm waving to you with my hands here. And I know Ali, I know you're probably watching Maple Leafs hockey, which is going on right now. Speaking of right now, we're not going to share the screen here, but let's go ahead and dive into some more action. Early on, before we took the last break we jumped into the action from the early window that has gone final as of late. Currently in the third period, the Toronto Maple Leafs lead the Carolina Hurricanes 4-0. And if I'm not mistaken, the Maple Leafs will battle the Blackhawks tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, yep, that's right. That one's currently in the third period. Down in Beantown, we've got the Anaheim Ducks on top of the Boston Bruins at 2-1. We're all square in St. Louis at 2 goals apiece in the third period in that one. 5-2 Montreal over the Ottawa Senators in that game. And the Chicago Blackhawks, speaking of who the Maple Leafs will play tomorrow, they fall to the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-1. The Nashville Predators defeat the Colorado Avalanche 2-1 as well. Coming up in a little bit later, we will have the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. But meanwhile, in LA, the Hockey Club and the Kings are tied at a goal apiece in the first period of play. And of course, we already know our final score. It's 8-3. So with that said, let's get quickly now to the play of the game, brought to you by on the Penguins Radio Network, Rivers Casino. We are not sponsored by it, so let's get to it. And you know what? I really got to go with the old 2-9er Phil Burgh on this one. I really got to go with him on this one. Borky, I'm going to go with the second goal of the hockey game for Jacob Chychrun. He had a shot at a hat trick tonight in this afternoon's game. He had a shot at a hat trick today. Didn't get it done. But my golly, 8 goals by the Capitals, and none of them coming off the stick of number 8, Alexander Ovechkin. No, none of it. 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 No, none of these 8 goals had number 8's name on it. None of them. None of them. None of these 8 goals had Alexander Ovechkin's name on it. Not a single goal had Alexander Ovechkin's name on it. Now, I do want to be clear. Ethan Frank's goal was reviewed, and because there was no indication of kicking, it was deemed a good goal. And Phil Burgh, I understand that you disagreed with that call. I disagree with it too, but a call is a call. So I was surprised that there wasn't a challenge that went down, but I also am glad. I'm glad the Penguins did not take a penalty because of a failed challenge. So I'm really glad they didn't take a penalty. Regardless on why this was reviewed, I'm glad it was. I would have been even happier if it was no goal, because who knows, maybe the outcome is different. But we'll see how it all goes down. With that all being said, Jacob Chikrin's second goal of the game is good enough for my play of the game. All right, time now for the shake of the game. And as you like to know, during special games like this one, we like to do 2 shake of the game recipients. This is inspired by the Milkshake Factory ad, previously run by Jake Gensel and created by Jake Gensel, the former Penguin, now Tampa Bay Lightning. Every time Brian Russ scores, as Brian Russ is continuing the legacy of that ad, every time Brian Russ scores, of course, Rusty was not in the lineup today due to illness, but every time Rusty scores, you receive half off Rusty Shakes next day at the Milkshake Factory, providing you the official milkshake of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Not sponsored by the Milkshake Factory, but if you guys are listening from the Milkshake Factory and you want to get in touch with us, here's how you can do it. Head on over to your inboxes and type into your email Sports for Beginners Podcast 8231@gmail.com. And once again, that is Sports for Beginners Podcast 8231@gmail.com. And feel free to send us an email looking to sponsor this segment, the Shake of the Game. Again, for Penguin fans, anytime Brian Rust scores, you score half off Rusty Shakes the next day at the Milkshake Factory. And just before we get into it, we've got ourselves a goal to speak of. Goal! 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 It was 4-0. It's now 4-1. But if that goal comes back, I don't know if it will. If that goal comes back, Shane Gostisbehere has gotten the Carolina Hurricanes on the board. It's now 4-1. We'll see if that one comes back. I don't think it will. I really don't. I don't think it will. But we shall see. All right. Time now, again, for the Shake of the Game, as I mentioned. And we are running this 1 hour show right into the way that I wanted it to run. We're running this thing the way that I wanted it to run. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. We're going to start on the Capitals end. And the 2 recipients of the Shake of the Game. First off, we're going to go to goaltender Logan Thompson. Gave up 3 goals, 2 at even strength, 1 on the power play. Finished the game with a save percentage of 906, excuse me. played 59 minutes and 56 seconds, made 29 saves on 32 shots against him. Next up, the aforementioned almost hat-trick boy. We're going to go to Jacob Chychrun with our second shake of the game. Honorable mention to Pierre-Luc Dubois. And another honorable mention is going to go out to the aforementioned Alexander Ovechkin. It will be a bit of a pick-me-up here. Ovechkin, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and, well, why not? Why not? Why not add Connor McMichael to the mix? Why not add Connor McMichael to the mix? One of those three men will get the game puck of the game a little bit later. But speaking of that, let's get to the Penguins. And our shake of the game, pick-me-up shake of the game, that's going to go to Penguins' backup goaltender who had to come in relief of Alex Nedeljkovic and gave up 2 goals, 1 on the power play, 2 at even strength, 3 goals in total. It was after 5 goals that Alex Nedeljkovic got pulled, but he still managed to make 9 saves on 14 shots he faced. The other 31 shots that were thrown at the net were thrown at Joel Blomqvist, who saw 17 shots on net, made 14 saves, finishes the night with a save percentage of .824, playing 25 minutes and 35 seconds. Alex Nedeljkovic played 34 minutes and 25 seconds, ending the day with a save percentage of .643, allowing 5 goals, all at even strength, 9 saves on 14 shots. Joel Blomqvist is going to get a pick-me-up shake of the game. Also getting the shake of the game, Slap Me Silly Sydney. It's going to be my boy, Sidney Crosby is going to get the second shake of the game for the Penguins. Honorable mentions to Christopher Letang, Erik Karlsson. Of course, let's go ahead and give one to Philip Tomasino and Danton Heinen. So Danton Heinen, Philip Tomasino, Christopher Letang, gonna get a honorable mention. Between them on Pittsburgh, one of those 3, Danton Heinen, Christopher Letang, and Philip Tomasino, as well as Connor McMichael, Alexander Ovechkin, and Pierre-Luc Dubois, they are going to get, one of them is going to get the game puck of the game coming up in just a matter of moments. But as we start to really wrap up this program, I want to come back to the poll I mentioned earlier on. And I really believe, for me personally, I like these 2 sayings I'm putting up in our poll that's going to be in our description of the episode. I personally love these sayings more than I could ever know. But I gotta be real honest with you. None of them hit me harder than what Mike Lang always said at the end of every Penguins game when they won the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. Rest in peace, Mikey. Would have been an honor getting to know you and maybe meeting you in person, but I never got the opportunity to do so, nor would I have ever done it. To the Mike Lang family, coming from a Canadian Pittsburgh hockey fan, I send my prayers to you and Mike's broadcast family and friends. He is truly one of the best to ever do this type of thing. And he's one of the main reasons I started tuning in to Penguins hockey on the Penguins Radio Network, all presented by S&T Bank, a proud founding partner of the Penguins Radio Network. And Paul Steigerwald, Michelle Craigiolo, Old 29er Phil Burgh, Josh Getzoff. Josh, first to you. I absolutely love Game Day Question of the Days. I love it. I love when you do these kinds of things. I really do. I always try to make it for some of those questions that you have there, but I really love the series, and I really like it on every game day. I really do. It's really nice. To Joe Brand, dude, you are in the seat. You are in the seat. You're in the house that Mike Lang, you are in the house, my friend, that Mike Lang built. You are sitting in the seat that Mike Lang sat in when he was broadcasting Penguins games. And my friend, you have done a dang good job doing it. Steve Mears, same to you, buddy, when you were in the building doing it. You keep rolling on great. I love what you did for the Penguins. Didn't catch you too much on the TV side, but I did catch you as much as I could on the TV side. Enjoyed the calls on the radio with the old 29er Phil Burgh, and sometimes with Michelle. You know what, Michelle? I have a feeling. I have a great feeling. I have an excellent feeling. You, yes, you, might be next in line to be in Mike Lang's chair. But we'll see where things go with that. All right. Game puck of the game coming up next. Plus, what's next for Pittsburgh? What's next for the Capitals? We set up Pens and Rangers next time on Penguins Postgame, when this 1 hour special of Penguins Postgame concludes. On the other side, stick with us.
Looking for conversations on books and more, as well as tutorials on using your favorite devices and applications? You've come to the right place. Join us weekly on Spicy Techie, where Ali and Sienna provide insightful conversations, as well as useful tips and tricks to help you along on your technological journey. To learn more, tune into the show and like the Spicy Techie Facebook page. Search for Spicy Techie.
Welcome back to Penguins post-game. Game puck of the game coming up in just a little bit. But surprise, surprise. I am so glad. I'm so glad I didn't say shutout, because that's exactly what the Maple Leafs were pitching earlier on. So I'm so glad I did not say shut out, because very quickly, and I say very quickly, the Carolina Hurricanes have got within 1 goal. What's this? Pontus Holmberg's goal by the Maple Leafs early in that first period was a own goal? That can't be right. Is it right? Maybe we'll have to ask Thomas about that. All right, with that being said, I should say, it's now 4-3 Toronto, and Toronto's in trouble. They're in trouble. Boston has tied it. They're in overtime. Morgan Geekie ties it up. It's 2-2 in overtime. That one's in overtime. Also in overtime. 2 goals not enough? Let's give you 6 goals. It's a 3-3 tie in St. Louis. That's going to be an interesting fight to the finish. Another game that has gone final. Well, we have yet to find out if there's another one that's going final. But so far, finals have already broken out. And Utah is heading to the second period, tied at 1 goal apiece. We are going to a shootout in St. Louis. The shootout is next in St. Louis. And we shall see what happens the rest of the way with the Maple Leafs game. Personally, I believe the Senators, they might be able to come back. We don't know. We'll see. All right. Before we really waste any more time, we are about an hour, 3 minutes into the show now. And I don't want to be on here any longer than we have to. But let's quickly get to the game puck of the game for the Washington Capitals. And we'll follow that up here. We will follow that up, of course, with the next 5 for the Washington Capitals. And, of course, the next 5 for the Pittsburgh Penguins coming up as well. One thing we know for sure, they're on a 5-game homestand starting soon. And you know what? It's a good thing I have my notes here, because I will be able to, I'll bring those up to you in just a moment. I'm going to bring that up to you in just a matter of moments. But I also want to make sure that we do get into, I want to make sure that we do get into the game puck of the game. Let's do that quickly. And with that all being said, let's get right to it. So, out of the 3, Alexander Ovechkin, Connor McMichael, and Pierre-Luc Dubois, the man that is going to get, for me, our game puck of the game, it's going to go to Pierre-Luc Dubois. 3 assists on the day for him. You know, the NHL needs to make it where a hat trick is also worth 3 assists, because I get it, hat tricks are more for goals. I get that. But I would like assists to be added to that as well. On the Penguin side, out of Philip Tomasino, Christopher Letang, and Danton Heinen, we are going to go ahead and give our game puck of the game this evening for the Penguins to congratulations goes to Danton Heinen. Really nice game by Danton Heinen in this one. I thought he played well. And Kevin Hayes, he had played exceptionally well in this one. But it's got to be a team effort. So with that said, let's go to let's go on into our next 5 games. Gonna go ahead and share the screen, starting with the Washington Capitals. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your next 5 matchups for the Washington Capitals, well, they include these 3 matchups. They include these 3 matchups that you see on your screen right now. As they will welcome in the Edmonton Oilers to Washington, beginning a 5-game homestand starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. Pacific. Then it's nighttime action in Washington as the Calgary Flames come to town at 7 p.m. Eastern. Same thing for the St. Louis Blues. That one is on Thursday, February 17th, 2025. Sorry, February 27th, 2025. February 25th, 2025, that's Tuesday night. The Capitals will see the Calgary Flames. And they will also see the Tampa Bay Lightning on Saturday, March 1st to open up the March calendar. They will then see the Ottawa Senators on March 3rd, Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 Pacific. Game time against Tampa Bay is 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific time. off we go to Pittsburgh. Going to share my screen when we have Pittsburgh on there. Okay, we have Pittsburgh. Here we go with Pittsburgh. And of course, I'm utilizing my notes as well for that one. For the Penguins, their February schedule wraps up like this, as they also started going into their March schedule in their next 5 matchups. Tomorrow, they'll go toe-to-toe in the afternoon with the New York Rangers. This will be a live stream on YouTube, by the way. I will be live streaming on YouTube our Penguins post-game show, as the Penguins go head-to-head with the New York Rangers at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central, 12:30 p.m. Pacific on Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. That's tomorrow. Tuesday nights are NXT nights in the WWE, but for me, they are hockey nights in Philadelphia. The Penguins will be battling in a home-and-home series against the Philadelphia Flyers starting on Tuesday night, February 25th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. They will then go into Pittsburgh to finish off the Battle of Pennsylvania on February 27th. That's Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. They've moved 7 p.m. Eastern on that day to 7:30 p.m. Not sure why that is, but it might be because something is happening with the PWHL or something. I don't know why that's the case, but timeline has moved from 7 p.m. Eastern to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. We will see the Penguins host the Boston Bruins at 3 p.m. on Saturday, March 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific time. And then the Toronto Maple Leafs are in town at 1 p.m. Eastern to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins, 12 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. Pacific. The next 5 for the Penguins are Rangers, back-to-back with Philadelphia in a home-and-home series, and then another 2-game homestand, back-to-back. Boston and Toronto before the Penguins are off on a mini road trip. A mini road trip of 3 games, a short 3-game road trip, I should say, and then they're back home for a couple of games. 5 home games at home, and then a short 3-game road trip as well, leading into another game, this one against Ottawa, to close out the month of March. All right, with that all being said, our next show, and it will actually be a live stream this time, it will start at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. I should say 6:30 p.m. Central Time, live on YouTube. We'll be recapping the Penguins and the Rangers. Can the Penguins bounce back after fall? After falling, can the Penguins bounce back after falling? After falling 8-3 to the Capitals tonight, can they bounce back and beat the New York Rangers in a series that, well, they likely could lose? We'll find out tomorrow. Live stream happens at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And of course, it all happens after the game. The Rangers have won 2 games. Can the Penguins avoid a third Rangers victory and tie that season series? We'll find out the answers tomorrow. Until tomorrow, that is going to do it for another episode of Penguins Postgame. I am Scott McGregor, your host of the program. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. Mike Lang, I hope you are smiling like a butcher's dog down upon all the Penguins Nation. You're an inspiration to this sport. You will forever be missed. And ladies and gentlemen, not to steal a line from DK Pittsburgh Sports, Dan Kolojevic, but all five of those Stanley Cups, every single one of them, every single one of them, every single one was called by that man, Mike Lang. And not to steal the word from DK, but, and not also to quote him, but as such, the product was real too. Mr. Lang got the Penguins to 1984 when a tall, lanky teen from Laval, Quebec showed up, and the two of them, plus Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and so many more, took us through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Stanley Cup celebrations, all 5 with one man immensing those events, with one man at the mic. A part of all of us has left the building. As Mike Lang would always say at the end of every Penguins victory, ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. In our case, even though the Penguins lost, but we still like that saying, win or lose. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Lang has just left the building. My name is Scott McGregor. Let's go, Pens. I will see you tomorrow on YouTube. Tomorrow night after the game. Pens and the Rangers next time Until then, let's go Pens. Good night, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. You've just listened to Pittsburgh Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners or visit the official Sports for Beginners podcast website. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay tuned. And remember that it is not goodbye, it is until next time. And you'd have to be here to believe it.